Hey guys, how's it going and welcome back. Well, this is yet another electronic screwdriver kit from Amazon, obviously. They sell for 69 bucks. Now, that's Canadian. I didn't pay that for it. I had ordered two of these kits. One was a much larger one by a different company. If you haven't caught that video, go check it out. This is the new one that came in today. And I gotta say, it is actually pretty cool. Now, it does come with a USB A to C cable for charging. Doesn't take long to charge. It's only 350 milliamp battery. However, it does have a few adoring qualities to it. Apparently, it's supposed to have a little bit more torque as well as being 200 RPM, so 50 RPM faster than the other one that we showed. Now, there's some really cool things about this one. Even though it's not so big and glorified, it does have some pretty neat little qualities to it. One of which is, this is a metal case, and you just simply put it away like this, and if you put the screwdriver in so that the top is pointing up, you can actually charge it from inside the case. So you don't have to take it out to charge it if you don't want to. You could easily just plug in the Type-C cable here. It's a perfect fit, and charge it while it's in the case. And you'll see also, as long as you face the screwdriver the right direction to be the window, then you're going to know when it's fully charged as well. So, not too shabby there. And you just push in, let go, and the whole kit comes out. All the bits are held by magnets, so this is not a metal casing per se. It's a lot of magnet in here, obviously, because the bits are being held in by just simply magnetism. Now, there are some people that said that the tool is held in by magnet, and that is absolutely incorrect. I have no idea what they're talking about, but if you take a gander in here, you'll see some little protrusions sticking out. It is a pretty snug fit that you could actually say, alright, well, if I push just the front portion of this down a bit, it's going to stay there and that'll be good. Now, this is another one of these tools where I already going to tell you, I've got a little bit of a complaint, and that's that it rolls around. However, at least with this thing, you could just simply have it sitting beside you and put it in there instead. It's not going to go anywhere, right? It stays behind. So, you know, it's not going to roll around. Otherwise, the other one you would have to tuck it in and so on. Stay tuned, by the way. We do have a video where we're going to talk about both these side by side. So, getting on with the different things, we do have the metal spudger that sits in here, which is pretty simple to get at. Just get your finger in there and voila. Now, like I said, the whole casing is magnetic, okay? Same as your tweezers, they're in here, and these are straight tipped tweezers. They're not the bent over style like what comes in some other kits, and they just simply go in there and they're not coming out. And same as the bits, they don't just pop out, they're going to stay there. Now some of these bits are actually quite long, which is a benefit. And being longer, and also being security bits too, we do have a few of those. Now, we do have more security bits offered in this kit than the last kit, but you know, the thing with these kits is, you know, you're probably not going to get your dream kit, no matter how you look at it. It'd be like, oh, well, I wish the whole kit had these long ones, which would be absolutely perfect. Good luck, not going to happen, okay? But you can buy just bits too as well if you want. You can buy them in, you know, a lot of different setups could have quite a few of the long bits, but they're not going to likely have all long bits, right? And of course, there's the style in the bit too, right? You know, we do have Robinson tips. We've got these fork ones that I have no idea what they're for. We've got this triangle tip. There's stuff even in this one that's kind of like, oh, that's kind of interesting. You know, you got Phillips heads, you know, which some people call them a different name. There's different types of these Torx as well. There's quite a few actually of Torx bits in this kit, which is quite impressive. And then we do have some much larger Phillips type bits as well as others. And it's kind of, alright, well that's a pretty good kit. I like that. This is kind of a weird triangle-y type bit too. It's kind of interesting. There's a couple of them there. And then there's this rounded one here, they say. And, well, it's more, I wouldn't say it's round per se. It's got some hexing to it, but whatever. It's kind of like an Allen key. But, yeah, not a bad little selection. Alright, now as far as the screwdriver goes, it's a pretty simple operation. There's no on and off button, okay, which is kind of the norm. Other than, yeah, you push it, it fires up. Push it the other way, and it tells you what direction the screw is going in. So if I'm going to push the bottom button, that's clockwise, the screw is going to be going in. If you go the other way, it reverses counterclockwise. Also tells you where your battery level is at all times. That's actually quite nice, you know, and I like the size. It's very comfortable to work with. I think that's pretty cool. So what do you say we get at taking something apart here? So I thought, well, let's grab something different than a computer, because these things aren't just for computers. But this is one of my Boss pedals, and we just got to find a bit that's going to fit it right. Hopefully we've got one in here, because you do want the perfect fit, as they call it. The question is are we going to have one that's a perfect fit? That's actually a pretty good question right there. That's actually a really good fit there. Let's see, do we have any other options? This is triangle. Still three-sided. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. And we know Torx is not gonna work. Alright, looks like that's gonna be our only Phillips head choice. That's actually a pretty good fit. We may have to push down. Now, the thing with this, yes, they're all held in magnetically. Now, we don't have a magnetizer, demagnetizer, little jobby toy with this thing. So it's kind of like, yeah, well, who cares, you know. But the lights, there are two LED lights, if you look here. They only go on when you hit the power. There's no stage prior to that. They just go on. Now this is going to be a bit of a drag if you're trying to light up something down below, like inside a video card, for example, that you're taking apart. This could be a problem with having the light on not until it's fully depressed. But it kind of depends. I mean, you could have it just hover above and run it, get your light on the subject, find your way, and then just do it that way. I mean, there's other ways to do things in life. Alright, so I've never had this pedal apart, so I have no idea what kind of tension we're under. And nope. And you know what? That bit's not even going to work. Wow. Okay. So, what else can we do here? What else would fit in here? Not a Torx, because Torx won't fit. Sometimes we can use flat blades. If we get just the right size, we may be able to use one. Too sloppy. Definitely too big. Way too big. See, this is where things are like, well, we could use more variety, man. You know, so not exactly the perfect thing for taking everything apart. See what we can do here. I think these are both identical. No, not quite. One's a little bit wider than the other. That might actually work. Probably not. Well, let's give this one a go. Now this, because we're doing it this way, we might want to try and do this manually first a bit. Yeah, that's broken free. Still not enough. Now, we've obviously shown what this thing is not suitable for. So definitely guitar pedals, that would be a no-go. Alright, so So that's kind of an obvious thing where definitely not going to work for that. Okay, so what else do we have that we could possibly take apart here? Screws are going to be hidden on. Oh, there is a screw here. Alright, what kind of screw tip do we have here? Oh, that's a weird Allen key type. Do we have one here that we... Nope. There are limitations, kids. There are limitations. Okay, so we don't even have a bit to cover this. This is where variety is a very helpful thing to have, you know. I mean, it doesn't even have a bit that works with my wireless guitar system. Let me go get something we should have something for. Looks like we're back. Alright, so let's see what we can do here. So I got my HP laptop. I actually used this in the last video. Alright, so we'll put it here. Good solid fit. No problem. Nice. Some screws you may have to give a slight little twist, which is fine, but as long as you got a bit that fits absolutely perfect in here, you shouldn't have any issues at all. Okay, and I know these screws can go on either side, so we'll start at this side for you. That's it. Now as far as magnetism goes, not very strong, but it'll hold the bit as long as the bit's the right size for screw. Now this, you want a little bit of extra turn. A little bit of extra turn. Now that's quite snug. Let's see if I can undo it with just the tool. Yep, there's just enough there. So that's good. Now, none of these are made for high torque situations, so this is why it's nice to have one that does have this locking system where you could manually undo it a little bit and then finish the rest off with the tool, or as when you're done putting the screw back in, a little twist to the right and you get a little bit of extra torque, and it's nice and snug. You don't want to overdo it, and that is the one thing I can appreciate about the two kits I've gotten so far, is neither one of them have enough torque to strip the screws or break anything free. And that's a big thing when you're working on computers. A lot of your screws that hold down your motherboard and whatnot, or some other parts maybe, those little threaded rings, we'll call them that, or mounts, they're only soldered in place. And if you have too much torque, you go too crazy with torque on them, yeah, they can break free from the board, and then you got to, you know, solder it back on, and that can be a real nightmare proposition, because you are talking, you know, more into the microelectronics, and, you know, hey, it's not exactly a fun task. So this is why you don't over tighten stuff, you know. You just need enough that it's snug. It's not going to go anywhere. Okay. Now, I do like the fact with this kit that we do get some longer screws. We get some of them that are got some good size to them too. We get a good variety of security torques, but it seems that a big majority of these are just Torx bits, whether they're security style or not. It doesn't matter. You can use that bit even if it's a security style bit. You can use it in non-security screw, you know, as long as it fits. That's the big thing. It's got to fit right, you know. But the majority here does seem to be a lot of the Torx. I like the little selection down below where we have some longer Phillips and some longer flats. That's nice to have. We got more longer flats here, and then we got some longer Torx, you know. Otherwise everything else is pretty much a standardized size, which is okay, you know. Not a big deal there. Now there's also going to be bits in all these kits that you'll probably never even run across, but a lot of these you are definitely going to be, because they're going to be very common. And you know, Phillips, Torx, and flats are the most common to come across. I've yet to see anything that uses a triangle bit. I have no idea about these things with little forkies on them. Like, I've never seen anything like that yet in my life anyways. But it is nice that you do get, you know, some tweezers, and everything's held in by magnets. That's all nice. The metal spudger is nice, because in some places the metal spudger is going to be very handy over a plastic one. Either way, be careful, even with a metal one, right? I do like the fact that everything's held in magnetically. That's really cool, you know. This tool, like I said, is not held in magnetically. Now, it can go in either direction, but like I said, if you want to be able to charge the tool while it's sitting in here, then you're best to make sure that the back end of the tool is facing the hole. And I'm pretty sure that's what they made the hole for, was so that, you know, you could also point the tool in the right direction for the window, but at the same time you could have it all assembled and charge it and just leave it there, and then when it's all charged up, unplug it, take it, you're gone. And this thing should undo a lot of screws, okay? Now, even though I did complain about this part, you're likely going to have this thing right by you anyways while you're working, so you can easily just even loosely put it in like that and be able to grab it again rather quickly. You could just, you know, even do it like that. That's kind of ideal, because this is actually not taking up a lot of space on the table, so that part of it's okay. There are tools out there, though, for electronic tools that, you know, they're not going to roll around at all, and you're free to have them there. Get this out of your way, because you don't need it there, and you've got the bit that you need in there. You're good, right? But this, it has a bit of a saving grace. My last kit, one of the biggest things I picked on was the fact it's like a roly-poly tool, right? There's no way of stopping it, you know, and you're not going to have that big, huge thing, you know, opened up on the desk, which you'll see in the next video. You know, so I kind of did give it a bit of a ding there. But for this one, because this is such a small footprint here, and I know I could have it on the desk beside me anyway, I find that this is a convenient thing as far as just laying it in there goes. So I'm still going to ding it a little bit for the roly-poly, but it won't be quite so bad. So the last tool, I gave it a 4 out of 5, I believe. This, I'm going to give this thing a 4 1/4. Now, part of that is it's not perfect, but a small portion of that is the roly-poly, but at least we have a solution here. But why I'm giving it some extra credibility is not to do so much with having some extra long bits, which is kind of nice. I love the size of this. This is really nice. It's very controllable. It's kind of like just like having a pen in your fingers, really. You know, it's very nice this way. It's not big and long and bulky kind of thing. You know, now about the tool, I can deal with the LED thing, because I don't think I've ever even taken a video card apart in my life. I've never had to. So I don't have to worry about, oh, where's the hole? You know, besides, I usually have enough lighting on the subject that I can take a little flashlight and go in there at the same time, place this, put the flashlight down, and just, you know, I don't care. You know, that's the thing. It's how much do you want the extra conveniency? It's then up to you at your discretion if you like this tool or not. Now, the other thing is, yes, everything's magnetic. It's held in great, which is fine. Now, in putting the tool back in here, if you put it in nicely, everything's a perfect lineup. You got to make sure that this faces the window, but you also got to make sure it points down. Because if you put it in this way, sure, it'll go, but it can't lock in place. That would not be cool. However, doing this, it goes in properly, push down, let go, and it locks the tool inside. That's nice, right? And then just a simple push, and voila, okay? And that's nice. And like I said, plug in your USB cable. Well, it's in here. And I have tested this, and it will power up, no problem. So there's plenty of room in there for the cable. Now, it is kind of a cheap, chintzy cable, but hey, it's a cable, it's Type-C, it works with it. There are other cables. You don't have to necessarily use the ones that are included. When I even charged this one, I'll show you the cable I used, because I gotta unplug this anyway. Now this is a pretty beefy Type C to Type C cable, only because it's used for things other than charging, but it's Type C to C, and I just have this little adapter that goes from C to A. No big deal. And I use a 2 amp charge block. Okay, now as far as the about this item goes, when you look on Amazon's website, I will have that full description in the box below. Okay, I'll have all of that there. It gets into, you know, more of the basics. It's a 350 milliamp battery. It's 200 RPM. It has 3.5 nanometer Newton meter torque. I think it's Newton or nano, whatever. It tells you a bit about the kit. We've covered some of it. Now, this thing talks about small household appliance, computers, mobile phones, MacBooks, iPads, watches, laptops, cameras, drones, clocks, glasses, clocks, toys. What? They got clocks twice in here. Anyways, models, etc. Whichever is suitable for people who like electronic equipment. So this is not made for anything heavy duty. That is quite obvious. We know that the screws in that Boss pedal are heavy duty screws, and they are torqued in pretty tight from the factory, but you know, we had to show some limitations here, and that definitely showed it quite well. You know, we even have, you know, things like old hard drives. You know, this kit would work well. We've got some Torx bits for that. We could just pull all the screws, boom. It's made for working with this sort of thing, right? So, but anyways, I am at 4 1/4 out of 5. I would recommend this kit for some pretty low variety jobs, because it doesn't have a lot to offer you like other tools would. This has the price tag to it, I think, because number one, it is a smaller than average electronic screwdriver. Two, it does have, you know, the LCD readout, and it's also got this all metal enclosure with everything being held in magnetically, and that's why we see a $70 price tag. Okay, now this is Canadian dollars. But I think that if you need something just this compact and this portable, and having the limitations to deal with just this kit alone, but mind you, you don't have to be limited. You can buy any 4mm bits for screwdrivers, okay? They'll work. You can cross-use this with other kits, because other kits that have this, whether it's a manual system or an electronic kit, maybe you have more than one electronic kit, but your other kit has more variety, the bits all are cross-compatible, so it's not a big deal there. But this is also nice for just quick on the go. If this is what you need, and you know that's it for a specific job, then yeah, it's perfect. Why carry around something more bulkier and has more goodies in it? This would work for that. I mean, you have to think about your purposes and requirements, but I mean, I personally work on a lot of electronic stuff, and I know there's electronic stuff this is not going to cover. Okay, so I'm kind of like, well, I may have to have more than one kit kicking around, or more bits at least, you know. But I do have some appreciation for this over the last kit, and that's mainly in the tool itself. I think is a lot nicer, smaller, feels better in the hands. But it does have the downside where those LED lights only go on when you hit the power, where my other kit, you have a separate on and off switch for the LEDs, so you have the option, okay, to use the LED power or not, okay? This, it's kind of like it's on when the tool is on, and voila. Now, the drawback to the other one is you could accidentally leave the LEDs on, but I don't think you're that blind, okay? So I don't think anybody is. So you would definitely be, oh yeah, I should turn that off. Way to go. But some people like the cute type thing, and there's more to this than being cute. It is absolutely and perfectly functional tool. So there you go. Anyways, and again, the link to, other than the about this stuff, the link as well will be in the description below. If you're thinking about purchasing this, you do live in Canada, the Canadian link will be there. You can check Amazon.com. I'm sure you will find this without any issue whatsoever. So that won't be a big deal. But anyway, that's all I got for you on this one. So do stay tuned when we talk about both of them side by side. And of course we will go over pluses and minuses as per. And yeah, that's it. So thanks for watching and see ya.